All right, it's the camera. It's the I don't know if the audio is working, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Um, Somebody will let me know. Good afternoon. Um, my name is Robert Wilson. I am the president and lead organizer for Black Lives Matter Greenwood, Mississippi, an official chapter of the Black Lives Matter Mississippi organization. Today we will be I will be giving a brief statement on the gun violence that has been happening in town, as well as go over some of the around local government and why it's important for us to hold our local elected officials accountable and some of the things that they are tasked with doing. Um, as far as the local gun violence that has been happening in town, Black Lives Matter Greenwood and Black Lives Matter Mississippi gives our condolences to all of the families who have had to endure this and experience this and become victims of this gun violence that has been happening around town. Black Lives Matter Greenwood, Black Lives Matter Mississippi is not pointing the blame at anyone for what is happening in town because we feel like everybody's to blame. There's a lot of talk on Facebook, a lot of talk on a lot of the different platforms. I've been seeing people doing radio shows and everything, and it's like a lot of finger pointing, and that's natural. But quite honestly, it's everyone in the community at this point is to blame for what is happening right now. So no one really has the right to point any fingers. Black Lives Matter Greenwood understands that we haven't even done, a good amount of work that we should be doing in order to make sure that make sure these things aren't happening. So when it comes to the issue of gun violence, as it relates to Black Lives Matter Greenwood and Black Lives Matter Mississippi, the official policy of Black Lives Matter Greenwood is a policy that focuses on is a stance that focuses on defunding police, and reapportioning the budget that is given to our police department into other things, as far as parks and recreation, as far as mental health counseling, as far as um, anger management courses and different things like that within the local school district for the students, and just different things like that to help alleviate the issues that cause a lot of these violent crimes to even happen in the beginning. And that way you're alleviating the issue where it's like police are having to show up, to scenes or whatever after things have happened. Police officers aren't, like, I've seen some people say this, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Police officers are not superheroes. And so you can't expect them to, show up and, stop somebody from killing somebody and different things like that. And so that's not something that we're directly pushing for to say that something like that. And so that's just our belief. Um, and that's something that we're actually working on. So, when it comes down to the city's budget and different things like that, we're working to see that, we don't want to have 1,001 police officers riding around in our community if those 1,001 police officers are going to be doing community-based work. So, if they aren't going to be getting out their cars, talking to the kids and different things like that, knowing the communities that they're working in, different things like that, there's no need in having them. There's no need for the city to have this huge budget for policing. And that's our official stance. That's our official statement on the mayor, the situation, how we plan on organizing around the situation. That's just how we plan on doing things. As far as the mayor's statement on gun violence, Black Lives Matter Greenwood and Black Lives Matter Mississippi was expecting to receive a press release from Mayor McAdams today. She responded to us in an email over the weekend stating that she would release a press release to us directly and to other media outlets and different things like that. We never received this press release. It's not something that we're going to press about because we know where she stands. She has been invited to the candidate forums on our platform. She has failed to attend, so it's not something that we're going to be pressed about. It's not something that we're going to press her on, and so it is what it is. We know where she stands, and we know how it goes. So I'm going to hop right into this educational portion that I have today. Not to throw shade at anybody, not to be rude at anybody, not to, anything out of line to anybody. But for me, I've seen a couple of posts online, and for me, I've personally been offended by some of the rhetoric that has been used about people who are actively pursuing our local government, our local officials to get more involved and, do what's needed to be done as far as doing their part to help end this gun violence in town. And some of the rhetoric has been used about people being miseducated. Some of the rhetoric has been used about people being misinformed and different things like that. And it's offended me personally because I've struggled as an activist, doing a lot of the work that I do. And I feel like a lot of the times people don't think that I know what I'm talking about, or people think that, I don't know what's going on as far as a lot of the major issues because I haven't gotten a college degree and different things like that. And that mindset is what keeps a lot of people from getting involved and doing the work that is needed to be done to help make sure this community is uplifted. Everybody should be invited to the table. If you feel like somebody's miseducated, then it is your job as a leader to educate them. And so that is what this part of our live is going to be for today. It's going to be brief, but I'm just going to talk about local government and why it's important. And so to kind of talk about it, just getting into it, the basics. You'll probably this stuff you probably learned in high school. The judicial branch. The legislative branch comes up with the laws. They come up with everything as far as traffic laws, abortion laws, anything you can name. Marijuana laws, anything. The executive branch is the president of the United States and the cabinet and things under his office. He carries out the laws. In small towns and different things like that, the executive would be people like the mayor and different things like that. As far as state level, it would be like, the governor and, the governor's cabinet and the people under the governor. The judicial branch is the branch that evaluates the laws. So, of course, this is your courts, this is your lawyers, and, this is where, you go and you get in trouble for breaking laws, different things like that. This is where you go to sue people and different things like that. All of it falls up under judicial, where they evaluate the different laws. Local legislative government, which is today's focus. So today's focus is going to be on the local legislative body. So what is a local government? A lot of people know about local governments, and specifically, I'm going to talk about today Greenwood's local government. We have two local governments here in Greenwood. If you live in LaFleur County, you are governed by the LaFleur County Board of Supervisors, which governs the entire county and cities that are inside of it. But the different localities, which we're going to talk about, The city of Greenwood is located inside of LaFleur County, and so it's governed by its own government. So the local government is the local governing body that passes local laws regarding local businesses, schools, parks, traffic, taxes, all of that. So the local government is the one that makes up the taxes for, your house, your property taxes. It makes up the laws when it comes down to the different traffic around town, where you see different stop signs at. You know, when it comes down to parks, recently during the coronavirus, they made the decision to take down all of the basketball goals at the parks. When it comes down to the schools, they make decisions regarding, giving more funding and different things like that to schools and different things like that. They don't make the main decisions because the school district is governed by its own board. But in the past, when the Greenwood Public School District and LaFleur County School Districts were separate, the Greenwood and different things like that, that's no longer the case. It passes laws regarding local businesses, things like how many occupants a business can have, things like, zoning for businesses and different things like that. So they pass those laws. Like I said, the city of Greenwood is governed by the Greenwood City Council, the mayor. A lot of people on Facebook have been questioning why are people questioning the mayor? Why are people, asking the mayor to get involved in the Black community? Why are we begging the mayor? And it's not begging, we're simply asking the mayor to do her job. In Greenwood, we want to know, what do the mayor do? In Greenwood, the mayor has a limited decision making role in making laws that are regarding the laws that are passed, right? And so even though she has this limited role, she still has different things that she does within this role. So within her role, there's three major things that she does in positions and boards. So when it comes down to the municipal, the city election commission, the mayor make those appointments. She gives them to the city council. She gives her suggestions to the city council. They approve them. When it comes down to certain positions like the police chief and assistant police chief and different things like that, she makes those appointments. She suggests them. The city council approves them. Most of the time, depending on who the mayor is, when they appoint somebody or when they put somebody up as a suggestion, they're most likely going to get approved. Depending on, like I said, who the mayor is and their relationship with the council, but more than likely, there's never too much debate about it, never too much opposition to it. It's normally just whoever the mayor says. Then it's real easy to just advocate to get that person onto whatever board or whatever position they are trying to get. So that's why that's important. The mayor also oversees day-to-day operations of City Hall. This is one of the most important things that the mayor does. She oversees everything that happens as far as the running of the city. Things that, like your garbage pickup. Why is your garbage? If you have issues with your garbage being picked up, there's a lot of different issues around town as far as large trash being left out for weeks at a time on the side of the road. Um, Issues with, the street cleanup. There's things like, a lot of people talk about the beautification downtown. Why does the city has the city beautified downtown? And there's a discrepancy with the way it looks on the other side of town. Different things like that. That's the part of the mayor's responsibility to make sure that those things are happening. She oversees the day-to-day operations of the city and City Hall. Um, The next important thing is proposing policy items for city council approval. When people think of policy items, being that this is a local government orders. And so when I talk about ordinances and executive order, a lot of people kind of got a little bit education on this last year when it came down to the coronavirus, because a lot of different ordinances and executive orders came from the city council. And things like, policy items, we're talking about things like, the policy of taking down like the basketball goals at the park, and things like taking down the state flag at City Hall, things like approving different taxes for your property and different for properties, and approving funds to be given to certain departments, and approving budgets and different things like that. Those are the things that she has the ability to propose in the city. She doesn't have a vote on it, but she proposes it. And then, like I said earlier, depending on who the mayor is and what their relationship is with the council members, if they propose something, then more than likely there's never too much debate about it. There's never too much back and forth about it. It's just whatever they say. Why is all of this important? All of this is important because there's one big thing that involves all of this: taxpayer money. If you live in the city of Greenwood, if you go to school in the city of Greenwood, if you anything in the city of Greenwood, if you pay gas money to put gas in your car, then you are contributing to the local taxes here in Greenwood as a taxpayer. And as a contributor to that, you should have an opinion on who is leading your city, the things that they are leading on, and what they are saying and doing as far as the leadership of your city. It is so important because this is reason why Black Lives Matter pushes so hard, because in the Black community, we don't ever really leverage our power. We don't leverage our power enough to get what we want. And a lot of people have this mindset and this energy where they're coming at me and they're coming at other organizations like Black Lives Matter about, our stance on, pretty much, holding elected officials accountable. And a lot of it is based on, we're at a lot of people are saying things like, oh, we're asking the master to give us stuff, and we're trying to force these people to like us and different things like that. And that is not the case. The issues that we're focusing on and the issues that we're tackling and we're asking them to be involved on are things that they're supposed to be doing as leaders. It is the mayor's job to keep the people informed. And so when things happen in the city, there's no reason why the mayor doesn't release a statement. There's no reason why the mayor isn't taking any action, because that is her job. If her job is to be one of her major duties is to be responsible for the day-to-day operations of the city, then there's no reason why the police department, which is under her day-to-day watch, isn't doing their due diligence as far as combating the gun violence. And so that's why we're pressing her. That's why we'll continue to press whoever the mayor is. If Kendra Cox is elected, if Nathan Wright is elected, we're going to press whoever it is, because it is their job to deal with and to take care of the people living in their city, regardless of who's elected, regardless of who it is. And so that's why I wanted to kind of give that brief civics lesson today. I know I kind of sound a little drowsy or whatever, but it is what it is. I'm glad that people watched and attended today's session. We will be going live later on. There will be a rally event later today at 4 p.m. at City Hall, led by community activist Loretta Johnson. She did not ask Black Lives Matter Greenwood to be involved, and we're perfectly fine with that. But we did decide to create a flyer or whatever and help spread the word about it to get more people to come on our behalf. So please go out to that at 4:00 today at the City Hall. But we will also be having a community forum on policing, gun violence and prevention, which will be happening on Wednesday at 6:00. It will be streamed live to Facebook and YouTube. So tune into that. Everybody in town, we're inviting everybody in town, everybody from both sides of the town, both sides of the track, both sides of the river, to come out and voice your concerns and your opinion in a respectful manner. Of course, we will not, if you come onto our platform with any type of racist bullying or anything like that, you will be politely removed via the virtual platforms. But everybody is invited to give their thoughts, their opinions, share their ideas and their concerns about what is going on right now in our community as it relates to the gun violence that is happening in town. And so please spread the word about that, and please feel free to join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Via the Zoom link, and you can also call in through the conference call link, because we want everybody to be involved in this. This is a community effort. Everybody needs to be able to share their thoughts. Everybody doesn't like going out in public. A lot of people, some people may not go to the event, the rally that's going to happen today. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure everybody in town has an opportunity to have their grievances heard in a respectful manner, because that is our biggest issue as a community, is that we don't talk to each other. We don't communicate to each other. All we like to do is get on Facebook, and we like to make these posts about what needs to be done, and not enough people want to actually do the work to get it done. And so Black Lives Matter Greenwood, Black Lives Matter Mississippi, Black Lives Matter in general is focused on making sure the work gets done, regardless of who's leading it, regardless of who we got to go for, who we got to come at. We're going to make sure we get the work done. And so thank you, everybody, for tuning in to today's brief I guess I don't know what the call is, but thank you for tuning in to our brief little statement on the gun violence and Mayor McAdams' statement, as well as this brief civics class today. And I will see you guys later today at 4 p.m. at the rally at City Hall. And also we'll see you on Wednesday for the community forum that will take place here on our platforms. Thank you guys again.